Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're doing a fragrance comparison between two behemoths, two big selling and two of the biggest selling fragrances for the house of Louis Vuitton. So here we have both of the fragrances that we're talking about today. The reason we are doing the comparison with these two fragrances is mainly due to the fact that obviously Pacific Chill has sold very well. It is very popular within the fragrance community. Everyone and their mom wants to try this fragrance. And we have the OG Afternoon Swim, which has been around for quite some time now. However, this fragrance is one of the top selling fragrances for the house of Louis Vuitton. Both of these are part of their perfume cologne line or their California line. And these are all fragrances inspired out of the state of California. So you have California Dreamin', you have City of Stars, On the Beach, you also have Afternoon Swim, and this one, there was also Sun Song as well as Cactus Garden. And these two seem to be the biggest players, the biggest sellers within the range itself. They're both blue fragrances. This one was just launched this year, and Afternoon Swim was launched in 2019. Both of these fragrances are manufactured, like I said, by Louis Vuitton. They are Louis Vuitton fragrances, and the perfumer for them is going to be Jacques Cavalier, which is the in-house perfumer for the house of Louis Vuitton. With that being said, this is what the packaging looks like. Let's get started with this one here first, which is the newest one, Pacific Chill. It has a very beautiful picture on it itself. All of these, just so you do know, are just little boxes. Then you can pull the actual box out, and here is what it looks like. It is a paper box. Then you also get your LV logo here at the top. Very nice, very simplistic, very Louis Vuitton. This is kind of in line with the entire house overall. Then we have Afternoon Swim, which is a little bit more, simple. It's going to have that gradient kind of coloring to the box itself. You do get some waves here. They're kind of cartoony type of looking, and you also get the same box inside of this. Now here we go with the actual fragrances. So they're both blue fragrances. They're both kind of inspired from, swimming or, being in the state of California by the ocean side, the Pacific Ocean itself. We do have this one, like I said, that is Afternoon Swim, was launched first. It has been around for quite some time. It is a very popular fragrance, and this one, let's just say, does it very well. It is a very simplistic note breakdown. The notes itself in this fragrance are not going to be anything super revolutionary, but the nice thing about this fragrance is that it does do it so well. It grabs things like ginger, ambergris, mandarin orange, and it just really amplifies those notes and makes them extremely luxurious, extremely classic, and extremely likable, which is kind of hard to do all those things in one. You're either extremely unique or you're extremely, elegant and opulent, and that can come off as a little bit deep. But this one is likable. It is everything in one. It's also a very modern yet youthful type of fragrance. It is going to be a fragrance that can definitely be worn time and time again without getting too old or going out of style. That's the nice thing about this fragrance. The notes to this fragrance are going to be mandarin orange as well as Sicilian orange, ginger, and ambergris, along with bergamot. So like I said, you grab very simplistic notes itself, and they do a really great job with making these very, like I said, likable, unique, and one of a kind of a fragrance. And just if you want to look at the bottle itself, it is a beautiful blue gradient type of bottle itself. It does have the white LV at the top, and then you pull this guy off and you have your regular sprayer. These are very simplistic looking bottles. They're very classic. They're very timeless. The nice thing about these fragrances as well is that if you take them to Louis Vuitton and you are, out of your bottle, so if everything has been, wiped out of this bottle, you can take it back in there and save some coin, and they will refill it for you. It does depend on the store and in the country, what their pricing is. I've heard different, stories, but that can change obviously with time, because Louis Vuitton is one of those brands that time and time again does do price increases periodically throughout the year. So at the time of filming this video, this bottle does cost you $300 US. At the time of filming this video, these are 100 ml bottles, and these are going to run you $300 US for 3.4 fluid ounces, or you can also get 200 ml bottles, which are 6.8 ounces, and those are going to run you 430. So not too much more, but it is quite a big of a commitment. It is quite a bit of a commitment to go ahead and get the big bottle because you're talking quite a bit of money there. Then we have Pacific Chill. This is what the bottle looks like, and it is going to be, kind of a light blue kind of gradient into a green color. Very nice, kind of very mossy. This is a theme that we saw in 2023 with fragrances. There have been quite a bit of green themed fragrances. And with that being said, there's also a lot of mint in a lot of these fragrances. They did do a lot of bergamot in these as well, a lot of fruity type of notes as well. That is something that we saw this year for a lot of brands. The fragrance notes for this, you might want to sit down and get yourself a coffee, a drink, or something, because there are quite a bit of notes in this fragrance. We have apricot, basil, lemon, coriander seed, as well as peppermint, citron, fig, and orange, ambrette seed, blackcurrant, dates, and mayrose, and topped off with carrot seed. So there are quite a bit of different notes in this fragrance overall. This fragrance is very nice. It is also very likable. It was one of those fragrances that when I first got, I was like, no, the fig is too prominent in this one. There are quite a bit, of fruity elements that are coming through in this fragrance. But as I wore the fragrance overall, it started to really grow on me, kind of like a rash. And I was like, yes, I like you, I want you, and I want a big bottle of you. However, it is sold out on Louis Vuitton's website. So let's compare these ones, see which one is better for you, and let's see which one is better for me. So at the time of filming this video, I did try to go to as many people as I possibly could and give them a blotter card of the fragrances and say, can you tell me which one you like better? And for some reason, this one was liked almost every single time. I think there was a couple of times that this one was, mentioned, but almost every other time it was this one. Why is that the case? I think it's definitely due to the fact that it is a trendy fragrance. So it is currently in its prime. There is that green element, like I said, to it. There's that peppermint that really gives this fragrance a refreshing vibe to it over afternoon swim. That makes this fragrance a little bit more unique. So I will say that when it comes to uniqueness, the Pacific Chill fragrance is going to be a little bit better than Afternoon Swim. Afternoon Swim is one of those fragrances that, you've kind of smelt before, but it is unique enough to be able to require the price tag that it does, but it's not necessarily something that's revolutionary. And I do feel like they did a lot more waves with this one than they did with this guy here. They are, kind of cut out of the same cloth, so the same perfumer, except this one has a little bit more of a unique factor to it. Longevity and performance as well is not the best on this one. So because this is an ambergris based fragrance, and then everything else is layered over top, so you get the bergamot, the ginger, the orange, the mandarin orange, all of those notes lay on top of ambergris as a base for this one, which really makes this fragrance a little bit softer. It can have a sweet element to it as well. This fragrance kind of smells as it dries down as a bitter mandarin and a kind of bitter ginger, which kind of stay behind after all of the really fantastic part of the fragrance is kind of like dissipated. And it kind of has that oniony type of smell. I'm not saying it smells like onions, but I will definitely say that if you've ever cut something on a chopping board and then you go ahead and cut some fruit and there's that little oniony type of smell that you didn't mean for it to be on the fruit, that's what this reminds me of, unfortunately. Not a bad thing. I still like this fragrance. It's still one of my top fragrances that I do like for the summertime. The only thing is that this one itself does have a little bit more of depth to it, a little bit more edge. Now, I will say that if you are not a fan of fig, you're not going to like this because this is not going to be fig leaf. This is going to be fig fruit, and it's quite a bit of a fruity fragrance. I think what really carries this fragrance out is that it has that peppermint in it, and then that bergamot and lemon. So this fragrance to me is kind of like, being on beachside while you're drinking a nice glass of lemonade and eating some fruit. Your lemonade has a few drops of peppermint in it, and this is what this one reminds me of. Very nice, very modern, very likable. Is this going to be a fragrance that is going to be timeless? We'll have to wait and see because it does change year after year. I think currently with, fresh fragrances, this is in line to being a classic fragrance. However, trends do change and our taste for fragrances do change as well. We have been stuck in this sweet, powdery element of fragrances for a long time. I mean, not a bad phase to be in, but we have a lot of fragrances that kind of smell identical to each other. We've been stuck in that Armani Code type of fragrance vibe for a while now, and we need to move on, or in that Sauvage Bleu de Chanel type of vibe as well. So, yes. Which one do I pick? I would certainly myself probably pick this guy because it is likable. It does have that beautiful mint note in it, and Afternoon Swim is one that I'll continue to wear, one that I will definitely wear. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more simplistic, you don't want a lot of attention, I would say to get Afternoon Swim. It's not going to get you that much attention. It's going to be something that's going to be a lot more easy to wear. And if you want something that's going to make you stand out of the crowd, but you don't want everyone, to turn their head as well, I would certainly say that Pacific Chill is probably the one for you. Although both of these fragrances are stars on their own right, and I definitely think that both of these would make you a very happy customer for Louis Vuitton. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on these fragrances down below. Do you like one over the other? Do you like both of them like myself? Or are you Team Pacific Chill or Team Afternoon Swim? Let me know all that down below in the comments. Also consider subscribing and give the video a thumbs up as it does support and help the channel. And I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.